Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Racha Kudash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And today we're going to go into the book of 2 Samuel, the first chapter. And this book, or this chapter, begins basically after the death of Saul and Jonathan and the loss of Israel against the Philistines in their war. So this is 2 Samuel chapter 1 verse 1. Now it came to pass after the death of Saul, when David was returned from the slaughter of the Amalekites, and David had abode 2 days in Ziklag, because remember they went and recovered their loved ones that were captive and the great spoil from the Amalekites. So they hadn't really heard the news of what had happened. And it came to pass on the third day that, behold, a man came out of the camp from Saul with his clothes rent and earth upon his head. And so it was, when he came to David, that he fell to the earth and did obeisance. So he basically bowed and showed reverence to David. And David said unto him, From whence comest thou? And he said unto him, Out of the camp of Israel am I escaped. So from the host of Israel, right, in the battle, I managed to survive and escape. And David said unto him, How went the matter? I pray thee, tell me. So how did the battle go? What happened? What's the outcome? And he answered, That the people are fled from the battle, and many of the people also are fallen and dead. And Saul and Jonathan his son are dead also. And David said unto the young man that told him, How knowest thou that Saul and Jonathan his son be dead? And the young man that told him said, As I happened by chance upon Mount Gilboa, behold, Saul leaned upon his spear, and lo, the chariots and horsemen followed hard after him. And when he looked behind him, he saw me, and called unto me. And I answered, Here am I. And he said unto me, Who art thou? And I answered him, I am an Amalekite. He said again unto me, Stand, I pray thee, upon me, and slay me. For anguish is come upon me, because my life is yet whole in me. And basically, the story that the Amalekite is spinning here is that he happened to be on the battlefield, and saw Saul pretty much like hurt or injured, but still alive. And Saul tells him, like, I'm in so much pain, and agony, but I'm still alive. So come and kill me, and just put me out of this. As he says, because my life is yet whole in me. So I stood upon him and slew him, because I was sure that he could not live after that he was fallen. So I knew that he wasn't going to survive, so I just gave him like a mercy killing. And I took the crown that was upon his head and the bracelet that was on his arm, and have brought them hither unto my Lord. Then David took hold on his clothes and rent them, and likewise all the men that were with him. And that was a sign of, once again, like mourning or despair. And they mourned and wept and fasted until even, for Saul and for Jonathan his son, and for the people of the Lord, and for the house of Israel, because they were fallen by the sword. And David said unto the young man that told him, Whence art thou? So where are you from? And he answered, I am the son of a stranger, an Amalekite. And David said unto him, How was thou not afraid to stretch forth thine hand to destroy the Lord Yahweh's anointed? Because that even David himself, right, didn't do that. So he's saying, you being an Amalekite, and you were bold enough to slay the Lord's anointed. I don't care if he was injured. I don't care if he asked you to kill him. And David called one of the young men and said, Go near and fall upon him. And he smote him that he died. So David ordered one of his men to take the guy out. And with ease, he went and took him out. And David said unto him, Thy blood be upon thy head, for thy mouth hath testified against thee. saying, I have slain the Lord Yahweh's anointed. Now, what's interesting is we read in the previous chapter how the battle actually went. And so this Amalekite was really trying to gain favor in the sight of David by spinning the story and making it seem as though, you know, he had, he met Saul and Saul told him to kill him, so he killed him. And being that Saul was David's enemy, it would be all right. Then he brought the crown to David, and David's supposed to be like, oh wow, thank you, So he found out the hard way. And David lamented with this lamentation over Saul and over Jonathan his son. And he bade them teach the children of Judah the use of the bow. Behold, it is written in the book of Jasher. Now, when it says here the use of the bow, it doesn't mean archery. It doesn't mean how to use a bow and arrow. The translation here should be the song, all right, or the lamentation of the bow, which was the name of the lamentation that was written for Saul and Jonathan, as it says here, right? As we just read here, his lamentation over Saul and over Jonathan. And that song that they taught, he bade them to teach the children of Judah, is written in the book of Jasher. And that's why when you go to some of these other translations, even the NKJV, right, they'll let you know that, as it says here, he bade them to teach the children of Judah the song of the bow. As it says, indeed, it is written in the book of Jasher. And then it actually goes into the actual song or the lamentation. So from verse 19 on down, this is a lamentation or a song that the one that is written here in the book of Jasher. The beauty of Israel is slain upon thy high places. How are the mighty fallen? Tell it not in Gath. Publish it not in the streets of Ashkelon. Lest the daughters of the Philistines rejoice, lest the daughters of the uncircumcised triumph. Ye mountains of Gilboa, let there be no dew, neither let there be rain upon you, nor fields of offerings. For there the shield of the mighty is vilely cast away, the shield of Saul, as though he had not been anointed with oil. So once again, remember, this is a lamentation, right, that David is singing here concerning Saul and Jonathan. That's why he's kind of like saying, curse be the mountain of Gilboa, for that's where Saul died. And then like, don't make this public, for the Philistines to hear it, lest they rejoice over us. It's a song. From the blood of the slain, from the fat of the mighty, the bow of Jonathan turned not back, and the sword of Saul returned not empty. And as it says here in NLT, the bow of Jonathan was powerful, and the sword of Saul did its mighty work. They shed the blood of their enemies and pierced the bodies of mighty foes, or mighty heroes. Saul and Jonathan were lovely and pleasant in their lives, and in their death they were not divided. They were swifter than eagles, they were stronger than lions. Ye daughters of Israel, weep over Saul, who clothed you in scarlet with other delights, who put on ornaments of gold upon your apparel. How are the mighty fallen in the midst of battle? O Jonathan, thou wast slain in thine high places. I am distressed for thee, my brother Jonathan. Very pleasant hast thou been unto me. Thy love to me was wonderful, passing the love of women. Meaning, the bond that they had was stronger than even that of a man and a woman. How are the mighty fallen, and the weapons of war perished? So that is the lamentation, right, of David, first Jonathan, and Saul, after hearing of their death. And that is also the end of 2 Samuel, the 1st chapter. So Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Recha, Kodash. And until next time, Shalom.